Hello guys, welcome back to our channel. We're so excited to have you again. The youths have gone out for NSAS protests and it has ended somehow. And the federal government is saying that it's now their turn. Precisely, the president is now their turn for them to go after those who were promoters of NSAS, and even celebrities are inclusive in the list. But guess what? Some CSOs are even daring the presidency. You'll be shocked with all of this. But before we continue, we'd like to encourage you to please subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button and also the bell icon so that you can get notification anytime we publish our videos. All right, let's look at the news in detail. The senior special advisor to the president on media and publicity, Garba Shehu, has said that the celebrities who promoted the NSAS protest, which led to violence in Nigeria, will be made to face the law. Garba Shehu said this while speaking on the decision of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, to freeze the account of some members of the NSAS protest. Speaking on an interview today, the presidential aide said, and I quote, said this country has only one president and has only one constitution. President Muhammadu Buhari is responsible for his government. The buck stops on his table. We are a country governed by law. There is a constitution under section 33 that clearly defines the right of citizens to freely protest in a peaceful way. But where peaceful protests turn into riot, violence, and looting, there is a law and order duty to be performed. Everyone witnessed the massive looting of public and private properties, particularly in places like Lagos, Calabar, Plateau, Taraba, and some other states, even the FCT. Now the law of the country must be followed to decide to rule on wrongdoings on the part of anybody. I am not particular about any celebrity or promoter, but this country has been harmed enormously and people should be prepared to account for what they did. That was what he said. And some CSO have reacted to it. And I just want you to go down with me. Let's just look at what they have to tell the person of Garba Shehu, what they have to tell him. According to the news, some civil society organization which took part in the NSAS protest for comprehensive police reform on Monday said they will not be intimidated by threats to prosecute them for allegedly leaving the mass action to degenerate into chaos and anarchy in the country. The CSO stated this in separate interviews in Abuja while reacting to comment by Senior Special Assistant Media and Publicity to President Muhammadu Buhari, Malam Garba Shehu, stating that the NSAS promoters must face the law for the wanton killings and destruction the nation experienced in the aftermath of the mass action. The CSOs noted that they acted within the ambit of Section 39 and 40 of the 1999 Constitution, which guarantee freedom of expression and the right to peaceful assembly. They, however, accused the federal government of sponsoring the violence that trailed the demonstration with a view to making scapegoats of the protesters. The legal counsel to Revolution Now movement, Inibege Effiong Esquire, said, and I quote his word, he said, the statement is reckless and provocative. Malam Garba Shehu should circumcise his tongue. He's playing with the wrong generation. The conscientious youth of this country will not be intimidated by the repressive antics of the Buhari regime. Section 39 and 40 of the 1999 Constitution guarantees freedom of expression and the right to peaceful assembly, respectively. We will exercise this right to the fullest within the ambit of the law. The violence that took place was introduced and induced by the government. They should carry their baggage with sobriety and stop scapegoating. It is now obvious to all that there was no sincerity on the part of this regime amid inintio. They were just buying time to enable them relaunch their anti-democratic missiles. But history shows that no government can defeat a determined person. We are determined to take back our country from the forceful grip of these political parasites. In a similar vein, Center for Liberty, one of the groups which coordinated the NSAS protest in the nation's capital, advised those in authority to rather prepare to face International Criminal Court for shooting of unarmed protesters at the Lekki toll gates. Convener of the group, Adebayo Raphael, said, and I quote, "As always, Garba Shehu is missing the point. It is not we who must face the law, it is Nigerian government who must face the law. We have committed no crime, but the government has committed several. The government ordered soldiers to kill innocent protesters, threatened the lives of protesters till some left the country. The authorities also seized passport, fruits, bank account, arrest minors and several others in their home and send them to jail without the option of bail. These are criminal acts and the government must be prepared to face the law both in Nigeria and at the International Criminal Court. We shall remain focused until they are all held to account and all our demands are made. Meanwhile, what Nigeria needs now are voices that will unite the people and not threats from any quarter." GPF's country director, Mr. Joseph Hayab, said NSAS protesters had legitimate complaint which many Nigerian citizens had come out to support. The people simply wanted to see a change in the way and a manner the Nigerian police treated citizens whose tax money is used to pay their salaries and emolument. President Muhammadu Buhari and Vice President Yemi Osinbajo had previously acknowledged in public that the cries of the NSAS protesters were legitimate. Even the federal authorities have started doing something to make Nigerian police act better and in a civilized manner. So, any government official who comes out with an aggressive tone right now is not helping the presidency and may not really love to see the progress of this country. These type of persons whose mute when the protesters were on Nigerian street, our candid advice therefore is for all political office holders to help convince Nigeria that Mr. President and his team mean well for the country. None of presidential appointees should toe the path of our arrogant language and threats to the people who mean well for our country and have voiced out their concern through the NSAS protests. The NSAS demands highlighted the area government should correct so that this country will move forward. Above all, Nigeria and Nigerians need love, respect, and unity now, not the show of force from anyone. Wow, you've heard what Nigerians have to say to Garba Shehu. And guess what? For me, the statement of Garba Shehu is like putting saw back into a healing wound. I tell you the truth. For me, it's not needful right now. Yeah, a lot had happened, but guess what? You cannot pinpoint anyone who is behind any act because whatever they promoted, whatever they supported was peaceful protest. None of them were in support of violence. First question I always like to ask is when this issue of fighting against hoodlums coming, who did they face at first? It was the protesters. Until at the time when they were pursuing the protesters and the protesters says, we cannot run again, and they stood by and defended themselves. They went back the second day, the same thing happened. And the third day, instead of them going after the protesters, they went around burning properties, burning police stations, fighting and all of that. So, and the police actually owe the peaceful protesters, a duty, which is to protect their lives. An event of any violence, they were meant to stop it. So for you to begin to point fingers at the protesters and say, hey, they are behind this and they are going to be brought under the ambit of the law, automatically, this is not the time to start talking about that because no one caused all of this. Now, I just wish some of these guys will have a walk into possibly the market and see what people are passing through. You set up a judicial panel of inquiry to look into the issue of SARS. We have seen endless reports. People maimed. Some were even killed. They can't even stand in to say what happened to them. A woman came out and said her pregnancy was aborted because of the beating she got from police. Police brutality, so you now see that the people did not come out to overthrow any regime as they are speculating. They actually came out to express their displeasure and their dissatisfaction in how things have been done in the country, and they demand a correction. And they have put out five demands, which they expect the government, and the government has accepted. So coming out now to try to make things really worse, for me, it's absolutely wrong. And I feel that Garba Shehu needs to come back and correct this. Let the people realize that the government is actually there for them. We're talking about democracy, not your house, the way you run your house. You know, this democracy, government of the people, for the people, and by the people. So if truly you are for the people, then you must do everything to ensure that you respond in a reasonable way to their demands. Well, that's where I'd like to leave it. Just go to our comment section. Let us interact. Looking at what is ongoing. Statement from the presidency. Reaction of the CSO who supported the NSAS protest. What do you think is the future of Nigeria? Let's interact.